Broadcasting live from somewhere in the Shadow Realm, this is YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Here's your host, Doug Dimmaduel.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Today we're going to take a look at a fire-type deck build that you could get most, if not all of the pieces out of the Flame of the Tyrant box set. I know I did a recent episode in the past about the box set, and it seems like there's some really good cards involved, but I want to go through just a basic fire deck build that's enough to get your feet wet with some of these cards and get you used to building a real solid deck out of them. So first I'm going to start, I'm just going to go in order from, going to start with the monsters, then we'll go into the spells, and then traps if needed, but you could really add whatever you want to make your style of play better. But anyway, first I want to start off with Rigorous Reaver, the level 3 plant flip with a 1600 attack, 100 defense. Its flip effect is each player discards one card. But the secondary effect is why I love this card a lot, and if this card is destroyed by battle, the monster that destroyed it loses 500 attack and defense. So, if you have multiple copies of this card, I'm really jealous. I only got one, but this thing is awesome as far as just depending on the situation. If you have no cards in your hand by the time you put this card on the field, its flip effect may be more viable for you. However, if you don't really want to lose any cards in your hand, but your opponent has a monster that maybe is just too far outside of your reach to destroy it as far as attack goes, this could get you over that hump by having it being destroyed and then definitely going from there and utilizing its effect to reduce your opponent's attack and defense. So, excellent card. The next one here is another super rare that you get out of Flame of the Tyrant, and that's Sergeant Electro. It's a level 4 machine, 1600 attack, 1300 defense. Once per turn, you can target one face-down card in your opponent's spell and trap card zone. While this card is face-up on the field, its target cannot be activated. So, the best part about this card, too, is that it can compound on top of each other. So say you utilize Sergeant Electro's effect in its first turn, and it stays on the field throughout one turn, you could utilize its effect again. So that way, if your opponent had more than one face-down card, just activate the effect again the next turn and prevent your opponent's next face-down card from being able to activate. So multiple cards at the same time can be targeted using Sergeant Electro as long as you do it once per turn. So this can compound into something that could really stall your opponent. I know a lot of people who run trap-heavy decks or relying on embodiment of Apophis or however that card is. You're able to utilize Sergeant Electro in a way that your opponent won't be able to activate those cards. So overall, this card, if anything, is I think really well worth having. Not just in this deck, but in just about any deck really. This is one of those cards that make it on my short list as far as you could put this one in just about any deck and it'll help you out. So the next one here, I have Gaia Soul, the Combustible Collective. It's a level 4 Pyro, 2000 attack, 0 defense. Once per turn, you contribute up to 2 Pyro-type monsters. This card gains 1000 attack for each. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. During the end phase, destroy this card. So that's the downfall of this one, is that you have one turn to use it. If it doesn't work out, then it's your loss. But this thing has the potential to do really well. If you're having multiple Pyro monsters on your field and you want to really try and boost Gaia's attack and really just see if you can just end the game in one turn, this has that type of potential of impact on a game. Also, too, it has the potential to completely backfire. All it takes is an enemy controller or something like that to switch it to defense position, because it's got 0 defense. But either way, regardless, at the end of the turn, you lose the monster because it gets destroyed. So, overall, I mean, this is a kind of a swing for the fences type of card. It came into play to really help out in certain situations. It's got a 2000 attack, so it can beat quite a few cards, but also it could beat quite a few defenses as well. So, yeah, this is a card that you could play or not play. I haven't seen it being played too much, but I've seen some use out of it on my end when I've ran this type of deck. But Gaia Soul, the Combustible Collective, is a pretty good card in my opinion. Now moving forward into the rares, we have Infernal Flame Emperor. It is a level 9 Pyro, 2700 attack, 1600 defense. This card cannot be special summoned. When this card is tribute summoned, you can remove from play up to 5 fire monsters in your graveyard. Destroy a number of spell or trap cards on the field equal to the number of monsters removed from play for this effect. So, if you see that your opponent has just loaded the board, has 3 spell and trap cards in their zone, maybe a field spell card as well, and it's later in the game where you know that you have enough fire type monsters in your graveyard already, or even including the 2 or the 1 that it would cost to summon this monster, you're basically able to clean house, activate its effect, remove from play all those monsters from your graveyard, and destroy 4 of your opponent's spell or trap cards, doing it that way. So Infernal Flame Emperor is just an all-around beast of a card, especially now where it seems like I'm seeing more and more where players are using more trap cards and more spell cards, and it seemed like they, I guess, used to be relying more so on monsters and monster effects, but you're seeing things go in ebbs and flows. So when you're noticing that players are using more spell and trap cards, Infernal Flame Emperor is a viable option for being a really good boss monster for sure. Next here, this one could come into play really well when you try to get your Infernal Flame Emperor on the field, and that is Flame Ruler. It is a level 4 Pyro, 1500 attack, 1600 defense. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a fire monster. So this one is just awesome to have. I'll run 3 of these in the deck, especially if I'm trying to have an Infernal Flame Emperor or anything like that. Flame Ruler is awesome. It doesn't have the caveat like some of the other cards where they require you to only summon a normal monster. This one just says for the summon of a fire monster. So it could be an effect monster, it could be a normal monster. It doesn't matter. So Flame Ruler is an awesome card. This is one for any type of fire deck. Definitely run multiple copies of it unless you have other plans there. The next card is pretty good in a few ways, and I'll talk about a combo in a second with it, but the Thing in the Crater, it's a level 4 Pyro, 1000 attack, 1200 defense. When this card is destroyed and sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Pyro-type monster from your hand. So that means you're ignoring any summoning conditions, unless it says that it cannot be, it can only be tribute summoned or cannot be special summoned. Okay, in that case that won't work. But you don't have to worry about tributes or anything like that. As long as it's a Pyro monster and you could get it on the field, the Thing in the Crater is really one of your power play cards here. And that's why I want to get into the next card that I have here, which is Twin-Headed Fire Dragon. It's a level 6 Pyro, 2200 attack, 1700 defense card. And it's just got a solid attack. His defense is a bit lacking, but it's okay because all it takes is the combo play where you have the Thing in the Crater out on the field, leave it in defense position, leave it in attack position, whatever. Lure your opponent to destroy the Thing in the Crater, and then use that to summon out your Twin-Headed Fire Dragon. So you're able to make that play real quick, and even what I've done sometimes too, as far as a combo is concerned, is I'll use the Thing in the Crater, attack an opponent, knowing that I'm going to lose that fight. That way it gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, and then if I have a Twin-Headed Fire Dragon in my hand, I'll be able to special summon that one on the field also while my whole battle phase is going on. And that way Twin-Headed Fire Dragon will be able to hopefully run over whatever opponent's monsters I'm trying to get over. So, yeah, it's a pretty underrated move, but it's a pretty good combo that works out well. The next one that I have here is Flame Spirit Ignis. It's a level 4 Pyro, 1500 attack, 1200 defense. You contribute 1 face-up fire monster to inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each fire monsters in your graveyard. So, later on in the game, this has the potential to just end your opponent. Say, for example, your opponent has 500 life points left. You know you got quite a few fire monsters in your graveyard. Say, for example, you only have 3 fire monsters in your graveyard. Your opponent has 500 life points left. Okay, you already have a fire monster on the field. Then you summon Flame Spirit Ignis. Activate its effect. Destroy the other monster that's on your side of the field to inflict 300 life points of damage to your opponent, thus sending that fire monster to the graveyard anyway. Now you got 4 fire monsters sitting in your graveyard, hopefully. That way you could activate Flame Spirit Ignis' effect one more time, and you can tribute itself to then inflict 400 more life points of damage, thus destroying your opponent without even needing to go into a battle phase. Because if you can help it, sometimes you want to avoid the battle phase depending on what traps or what quick play spells they're planning on using. So activating that effect is kind of a game ender, especially if your opponent's life points are low. So this card can be very useful in certain situations. Other situations, maybe not the most useful card. But overall, yeah, it's really, really solid. So as far as spells and trap cards are concerned, I mean, I'll use more of the same. I mean, it's just, if you have the better cards, use them. If you have enemy controller, use it. If you have double summon, use that as well, because double summon would be a very useful card for this type of deck, given that you would have a flame ruler and possibly, some infernal flame emperors in your hand. That type of deal, you would want to use a double summon in that case. If you don't have a double summon, a good option is a feint plan. That way you could just keep your card like Flame Ruler face down in defense position. Won't be able to get attacked during a turn, so it can buy you an extra turn. So that card can work out well. There's one card specific to fire types that I'll run multiple copies of, especially seeing that I'll have Twin-Headed Fire Dragon and I'm trying to run that combo with the thing in the crater. 2200 attack is not necessarily the strongest thing, so what I'll do is I'll run copies of Burning Spear. It's a equip spell card. A fire monster equipped with this card increases its attack by 400 points and decreases its defense by 200 points. So what this does is at least just attaching one of these cards to your Twin-Headed Fire Dragon will give it an attack of 2600. If you're fortunate enough to have two in your hand, equip them both to your Twin-Headed Fire Dragon. Boom, you're already sitting at 3000 attack. So, it has the potential to really get out of, really just snowball into some pretty powerful cards. It's enough to get you through a lot of duels. I used to use this deck with Switcheroo, which before they changed the skill requirements. So Switcheroo worked out pretty well. I guess you could also use cards like Restart or Balance card skills, and it could work out really well for you with this type of deck. But overall, there's a lot of really good cards out of the Flame of the Tyrant box set. These were just some that I've used in fire decks, and they've done pretty well within the PvP arena. I've made it up to the gold level with it, kind of on the fringe of, high gold type of thing. But, I mean, it's nothing, I think there's ways that you can make this better and make this more competitive, possibly get you up to platinum level, possibly, depending on what kind of cards you're running here. Maybe you could even get to King of Games. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it on my end, but I'm not the most skilled at this. But I'd like to see what some of your listeners, your decks are looking like. If you've done a similar fire type deck, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to see a screenshot of it. Send it my way on Twitter at YuGiOh Deck Talk. It's all one word, at YuGiOh Deck Talk. And I'd be happy to bring this topic back up in a future episode. We may get more fire card support moving forward too, so that could definitely change the dynamic of this deck. So I'd like to hear your opinions as well. So anyway, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.